If you caught last week's video, I shared my survival guide, which kind of gives you a general overview of the things that I do whenever my family goes through a shutdown. This is our 5th government shutdown that we've had to go through. The longest one that we've gone through is 35 days. This one is now 7 days. So I'm just sharing with you the things I'm doing to either gain additional income or reduce my expenses. As of right now, the government is still shut down. What does that mean? That means that some employees are going to work and they will not receive pay until the government opens. They are legally required to go to work. They don't have a choice. Some of them are and have been calling out sick, and that's kind of normal. I think if you're going through this kind of mental rigmarole that has been going on this year with all federal workforce, it doesn't surprise me that when someone says you have to work without pay, that someone has a sick issue, either mentally or physically. It's very stressful. I think this is probably our most stressful year working for the government with all of the changes that they have had. Now, to be clear, I don't work for the government. My husband works for the government. But basically, when something's going on in his life, we're feeling it in the family. And so I kind of get to experience it too. And there have been a lot of changes this year and has been very, very stressful. So think about this. Like if you were working at a job and they told you that you couldn't come into work, but you really couldn't go get another job because you might be called back at any time. And by the way, you're not going to be paid at all. You'd have a problem with that. You might also have a problem with them saying, don't get a new job. Or if you do some work, there might be some ethical violation or whatever. We're going to pay you, but back pay whenever we decide to open. That might be a problem too. Or even just think about like if you receive a Social Security check, just imagine that you don't get it for the month and that they say they'll pay you later. Like think about, to kind of get a feel for what employees are going through, think about those scenarios that might happen in your life, and it might give you a little more empathy to see what's going on in federal employees' lives. I've had multiple conversations with people and really close conversations with people that are really dear to my heart. A lot of them are, believed now because there's been a lot of media attention and rumors and just negativity around federal employees. I want to be clear that every federal worker that I have ever met does their job in service to the community, to the United States, with honor and with respect. And I don't know why people believe that federal employees don't really work. So I think you're going to start seeing a lot of things start to shut down and a lot of things start to be difficult as the government shutdown continues. And hopefully it doesn't impact you personally. It may impact you personally, but if it doesn't, that's amazing. One thing that it does do is waste a lot of money. So I'm not going to go much further into any of that, but I do want to share some of the things that I'm doing in my family to get through this. As again, we've gone through this many times. We've gone through the longest one. I'm really hoping it's not going to go that long in this time, and I'm hoping that it will end soon. So the first thing that we do is we basically stop the bleeding. So whenever I say stop the bleeding, that just means we're going to start saving as much money as we can, because saving money means that you're not going to pay taxes on purchases and you're not going to pay income tax on the new money that you're going to have to go make to pay your bills. So the best thing for me to do for my family is to stop the bleeding and stop spending as fast as possible. So one of the things that I did this week is look at any upcoming subscriptions that are renewing, any bills due, anything where I could pause or cancel a subscription. I did. My youngest son just graduated from college. We no longer need many of the subscriptions that we were purchasing for him to help him get through nursing school. And so those are all canceled and no longer being billed out. And so that was immediate savings in terms of not spending. The second thing is I stopped 90% of all unnecessary spending. Now, I didn't cancel everything because some of the spending that we have that's unnecessary is with like student discounts that my kids get because they go to school. So those are still going on. For example, I think we get Hulu for like $2 or something. It's ridiculously cheap. So if it goes further and I need to cut that further, I will. But until then, I don't want to cancel that and the government opens back up and then I wish I didn't cancel it. So look at some of the subscriptions that you have, any unnecessary things. I didn't hardly purchase anything from Amazon Prime Days that are going on right now. They didn't get much of my money this year. Normally they would have gotten a lot more money because of all the deals, but this year they didn't get much at all. In fact, I think I bought 2 things and one of them was groceries. So it is what it is, but we're stopping 90% of all unnecessary spending. If you can stop 100%, that's great. I'm just, again, hoping that the furlough won't last much longer. The next thing I do is I reduced all internet expenses, not all of them, but reduced the expenses and reduced my cell phone bills. Now, I had done this prior to the shutdown. I reduced my internet bill from like $138 to $60, and I reduced my phone bill from like $40 to $20. So that's something that you can do immediately. You just call up your internet service provider and you ask for a lower plan. If they don't have a lower plan, look to see if T-Mobile or Verizon are in your area, and you can often get one of their unlimited plans for like $50 or less. Mine's 50 plus tax, which is 60. I think they should be giving me a discount. I need to go look at that discount now that I'm talking about it. I think I'm supposed to get $5 off for like paying through my checking account or something. So I'll have to figure out what's going on with that. But reducing my internet and my phone bills basically saved me immediately $100 a month. The next thing that I did was I organized my pantry and my freezer, and I moved all goods to the front that were going to be expiring like sooner than the other ones. So we're going to start using everything out of the pantry, and we're going to start being very creative about our meals than we already have. I have learned to cook things that now are necessary for our lifestyle. My husband is now non-dairy, and he is also seed oil free. And so we're having to work that in our recipes and just learn how to do that. So this week I learned how to make gluten-free, non-dairy, seed oil-free cookies. They were delicious. I posted a short on that. They were delicious, but it was just something that I'm doing. I'm trying to cook from scratch, bake from scratch, anything that I can do to not purchase something from the store. So if I am going to the store, I'm only purchasing things that are on the front page of the store's flyer. That is their loss leader. And I'm also going to the discount grocery stores. Just changing to loss leaders and the discount grocery stores is saving me well over $200 a month. So maybe that will help you. If you can find a local discount food store near you, maybe you can also get discounts on food just like I do. Now the food is sometimes close to expiring or frozen and has expired, not meaning that it was frozen before it expired, but now it's still frozen. So you're not getting like the brand new stuff, but it's also still good to eat. And anything that is not good to eat, or if you have a return, my discount grocery store will accept a refund within 45 days. So there's always an option for returns as well. I haven't had to return anything and have been delighted in everything that I've purchased from them so far. So, go and get the sales items, go and get the, discount foods. Use what you have first. So I reorganized my pantry. I reorganized my freezer to make sure I have everything and I know what's going on. You can even write it down on paper so that you know what meats you have, what things you have in your freezer, what things you have in your pantry, so that you can go to that first before going grocery shopping. The next thing that I have done is utilities. So reduce utilities. So that means I'm stopping like watering things that aren't growing. I know that seems weird, but I saved over $1,400 in the last year just reducing my utility bill. And that just means I'm making sure that I'm not watering things that aren't going to grow. I'm fixing any leaks. I'm closing the blinds in my house so that the sun doesn't come through and heat up the house. It's darker in my house. I like looking outside. So occasionally I'll open them when I'm in the room to look outside. But when I leave, I close them so that the sun isn't heating up the house and causing a large electricity bill. So think about those kinds of things. Other things that you can do that I just have been doing to save money lately, it's been kind of like not that, the money hasn't been flowing over here. So some of the things that I've been doing are cutting my own hair. So I learned how to cut my own hair. It's pretty easy when your hair is long. I also grew my hair longer so that I could cut it and it would actually look pretty good. I do my own nails, so I don't go get my nails done. And I am substituting anything that is generic, like anything that normally would be brand name for generic products. So I'm trying more things at the Dollar Tree. If I want a smelly lotion, I'll try it at the Dollar Tree and see if that can substitute for something like a Bath and Body Works lotion. So I'm just trying to substitute things that I normally would buy brand name for generics or Dollar Tree items. Okay, so those are the things that I'm doing that are helping us just stop the bleeding and save some money. The next thing that we're doing to find additional money is to sell things on Facebook Marketplace and eBay. So one of the things my husband and I did over the weekend is look through everything in our house, and anything that we haven't been using went on Facebook Marketplace. So we already did sell our tent that I talked about last week, and we're working on selling a few other things that we just haven't been using and that have just been taking up space. And so that was a really easy way to get a quick $50 in our pocket. But it does take a little bit of work in terms of looking through your stuff and identifying things that you're not using anymore. As a bonus, it really helps with having things organized so you don't buy additional things that you already have. And it just looks nicer and it just feels better in the house. I actually ended up taking quite a few bags of donations to the Goodwill and to my local thrift store just to kind of get it out of the house. Sometimes if you have too many things, you lose track of the things that you have and then you buy extra. So make sure that you are organized, find things that you aren't using, and consider reselling those on like an eBay or a Facebook Marketplace. The next thing I did is I looked for every gift card available. So if I had a gift card, if there was any money on it, I wrote it down, and we'll be using those gift cards first. We used some Home Depot gift cards this week for a project that we're working on. And, I went and did, I think my Gas Buddy had $15. So I moved that into a Walmart gift card and used that for some groceries. Discover card sometimes has additional money. Lonnie's going to use that for, again, a project he's working on. And so that is going to be a Home Depot gift card. So just look for any available gift cards that you might have or credit card points that you can use. A lot of times you can use those points to just pay down your credit card. We always like to use the gift cards because we often get like 5 to 10% more. And if we're going to use it anyways at the store, that's what we'll do. So look at your reward programs, your Fetch rewards, your Rakuten rewards, your credit card rewards, and try to use those if you can. Other things that we will be looking into if it continues to go even further are handyman services. We'll do yard work, we'll do babysitting, we'll do DoorDash, we'll do Uber. We'll be looking at other ways to get additional income. Maybe I'll sell some new printables on Etsy, or maybe I'll release a new product that maybe people that buy in my business might be interested in. There are a lot of different things that we can do to gain additional money if it continues to go further. Again, I don't anticipate it going further, but if it does, we're prepared and we just keep on keeping on. We do have quite a bit of food that I have stocked up on over the past few years. So I am going through my stockpile of like sugar and freeze-dried foods and all of those things, but we're only in week 2, so I haven't really had to go through any of that, but it would be on the list for future. If this video is helpful to you, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and let me know if you want me to continue to let you know what we're doing each week at the Furlough, because every week I identify something different and something that we can do to improve our situation given all of the things that are going on. I have some bonus ideas for you as well. One of the things that me and my husband do every month is we pay off our bills. So we don't run a balance on our credit cards. However, if it looks like this is going to continue to go on, we may just pay the balance, just the minimum payment due, until he can get a paycheck, and then we can pay off the credit card. So we do try to pay it off and have been very successful over the years in paying off the credit cards every month. But if there's no paycheck coming in, we definitely would look at doing the minimum payment, which is something we haven't done in a while. I'm also going to keep my necessary doctor's appointments that I have this month. I have quite a few things that are going on that I need to kind of get help with. But in certain areas I can save, like if I use some certain creams from my dermatologist, or certain things that I have where I haven't used it all. So I can use that and not do the monthly refill that's usually automatic. So sometimes you have like a prescription and it refills every month, but you haven't finished it all from the last month. So that's one of the things that I will be doing, is not refilling something if I still have some left over from the previous month. So hopefully that's helpful as well. Other things that we will be participating in likely are nonprofit food rescues. They're going to be doing more as it starts getting cooler here in Arizona, in opening up satellite locations so that we can go down there and rescue food, so I don't have to drive 45 minutes to their warehouse. By the way, the Tucson warehouse did burn up, so they had a hard time, but they still did all of their food distribution, which is wonderful. So some of the things that you might look at are nonprofits, food rescues, food banks, things like that, to kind of help you get through this as well. There are many community resources, so reach out, ask your church, find out if they have anything or if there's anything they can offer. Do your best to minimize your expenses and kind of stockpile as much cash as you can during this time. It's always good to do that, but this time it's probably something that I think would be very prudent. So hopefully this video was helpful, and I hope that you have a very blessed day. Goodbye.